Hi folks, my name is Don Gardnier. I'm President and CEO of Gardnier Inc. And today we are going to be talking about condominiums and how to find a condominium that will pass the FHA certification or that is on the FHA certification list. And also it also somewhat helps you to understand the likelihood that a conforming loan will be able to pass that as well, that somebody who's going to use a FHA or a conforming loan to buy a condo, will that condo complex work for your loan? It's a subject that's not talked about very much, but it's a huge problem in the market right now because most condo complexes are not eligible for these types of loans. By far the majority, it's something like 90% or 95% of the condo complexes just are not eligible to get a loan right now. We'll talk about why that is a little bit later. First of all, let me just let you know that you by Own San Diego Real Estate and by San Diego First Time Home Buyer Programs. Our information is right here on our homepage, and it's also under the About tab if you want to get hold of us for any questions. Down at the bottom, I also want to point out you should be clicking on our Like Us on Facebook. That'll take you to our Facebook page, and you should like us there. The best thing that you have going for you in your quest of home ownership is to educate yourself. Don't rely on your real estate agent, on your lender. Educate yourself, understand what's happening in the market, and you will have a better chance not only of being successful in your quest for home ownership, but also everybody wants to get a good deal. And the truth is how do you know whether you truly got a good deal if you don't really know what's out there and what a good deal is? So a little bit of effort on your part is necessary for you to truly be successful in all of this. And we encourage you to take the time, click on our Facebook link here, go on over, like the page, and when our articles come out, read them. They're talking about what's happening with loans. They're talking about what's happening with interest rates, what's going on with prices of homes. Are they going up? Are they going down? All of the things that are important to you. All of the first-time home buyer programs, when they have funding and they're accepting applications, whether they're out of money, it's all on our Facebook webpage. And by the way, that's also fantastic page for sellers as well to understand what's happening in the market and what they need to do to be successful as well. All right, let's jump right in and let's start talking about condos and how hard it is for sellers to sell them and how hard it is for buyers to buy them and how you could overcome that to determine whether or not that condo in that complex is going to be eligible for you to buy. It's not that hard. It just takes a little bit of work, and you just need to know how to do it. And the problem is nobody's told you how. So here we go. Let's go in and let's talk about it. Place your mouse over. Actually, we're going to go on over here. Let's go to our website. To get to our website, you're going to go to sandiegoforyou.com, but just abbreviate it. SD for San Diego, the number 4, the letter U.com. That's going to take you to our easy to remember, easy to type web page. You can't get any easier than SD4U. So once you're here, you really don't do anything except find your way to whichever of our websites you want to go for. We're going to go with the Own San Diego Real Estate website. Just click on that, and now you're at our page. You can always find your way through there if you can just remember SD4U.com. Now that you're here, we're going to go right on over here to the home search, and we're going to click on FHA approved condo complexes. Before we click on that, I just want to point out we're also going to talk about how to look up APN numbers, which is a way of sometimes getting a condo that legally isn't classified as a condo, and therefore you can buy it without any of those FHA rules. Works as well for conforming loans. We're also going to look at, and then also on this, we're going to teach you how to find out what the tract number is. Well, you don't understand why that's important right now. You'll understand before the presentation is over. We're also going to show you HUD homes. A HUD home is a foreclosure that FHA made a loan on that condo, and then they foreclosed upon it. And because FHA already owns that condo, they'll waive their own requirements for an FHA loan, and you can get it even though it's not in a complex that's approved. Fannie Mae HomePath does the same thing. And most people who qualify for an FHA loan will also qualify for a Fannie Mae Home Path loan. So if you find a Fannie Mae Home Path condo, even if it's not in an approved complex, you'll find that you'll be able to get a Fannie Mae loan and buy that anyway. All right, let's start with the FHA approved condo complexes. Click on that and let's go on over and let's take a look what's going on here. First of all, there's all kinds of search criteria, and I want you to leave all of it except for 2 blank. We're just going to put in the state that we're in, California, and we're going to put in the zip code that we want to look at. In our case, we're going to choose Lakeside just for fun today. A lot of people will come over here and they'll choose, not that one, they'll choose to look only at approved condos. Don't do it. Leave it on all. The reason we leave it on all is because we really want to understand, is the condo complex approved or not? And if we do any misspellings, if we anywhere along the line, if we just want to understand everything. So let's leave it at that. Instead of getting into long explanations, let's just know that by leaving it on all, these are any condo complexes that have ever even tried to get approved for an FHA loan. And so if they're on here, they tried to get an FHA approval at some point. If they're not on here, they've never even tried. Now, as we look at these, we're going to look at the first 3 of these. The first one we can see they tried way back in 2010. They tried to get approved for a FHA certification, and there were some missing documents, and it was an incomplete package. Somewhere along the line, they ran into a problem, and they realized they couldn't overcome it, not with their current statistics. Their application was rejected. You cannot buy a condo in this complex using an FHA loan. You probably cannot buy a condo in the complex using a conforming loan. The next one is called, and we saw the name here was Cherry Creek. The next one is the County of San Diego tract number 3954. This is a real confusing thing here. We'll go over this in a little while. We'll show you how to understand what this means and also whether or not it's a complex that you could, that you're looking at a condo in. So, but for now, let's just take a look at the last 3 columns. It is approved. It was approved on 2/8/2005, a long time ago, but back on 9/30/2011, it expired. And at that point, 9/30/2011, they all expired right in that time frame. And FHA just canceled all of the certifications, told everybody, hey, you got to go back and you got to recertify your complexes. And most of the complexes were not able to get reapproved. And you can see here we've got another one right here. The same thing happened. 7/31/2011. They expired and they were never able to get reapproved. So they are approved as of when they got approved the first time, but when they went to give them new documents, every 2 years they've got to give them new documents. When they went to do it the next time, they just didn't even bother submitting the documents because they knew that they did not meet the statistics to be able to be approved. Okay, so this is not one that you would want to make an offer on as well. Even though someone might tell you that they're an approved complex, don't make the mistake. It's expired and it's just not going to work. The third one, Lake Jennings Park Estates, this one is approved, and it was approved within the last 2 years. In fact, it was approved a year ago, and so they still have a year to go on their approval. And this is one that you might want to make an offer on. And the reason I say that you might want to make an offer on is there's another piece to this puzzle that a lot of buyers just aren't being told, and it's costing them a lot of money. And that is, every 2 years, they have to be recertified. These complexes get recertified. But in every transaction, they do a certification that takes them up to that month. That's called a condo cert. So if you were to make an offer on this particular condo, on a condo in this particular complex, Lake Jennings Park Estates, then in the process of that escrow, your lender would require a condo cert. The HOA management company would provide that condo certification with all of the data of the condo up to that date. If the condo still is within the within the guidelines, then your loan would be approved. At least it would be approved on that part of it. But if it isn't, if they've dropped down below some of those requirements, then your loan's going to be declined. And the problem is for the buyers is that you've spent a lot of money by this time. Let's think about it. You already went out, you paid for an appraisal, you paid for, that was like $500 for your appraisal, right? You paid for a home inspection, probably about $300. Now you're up to $800. You paid for the condo certification. That was $200, maybe $300. So now you're up to $1,000 to $1,100. And if your loan gets declined, you're out that money. So what can you do? Well, the first thing is you can ask your real estate agent for the name of the HOA company, management company, and they can give that to you, and you can just call and ask the management company, hey, can you tell me, do you have 51% or better occupancy? Because that's one of the requirements. It's a big one that a lot of these associations are missing right now. There's so many investors that bought so many condos that the owner occupancy rate dropped below 51%. Another thing that's important is are the homeowners, are they current on their HOA dues? If you're only allowed to have a 15% delinquency. What that means is if you've got 100 condos, only 15 people are allowed to be late on their HOAs. So if there's 16 people, you're above that 15% threshold, and it no longer qualifies for an FHA loan. By the way, it no longer qualifies for a conforming loan either. A lot of the criteria for FHA and conforming are the same. And also, they've got to have a certain amount of reserves and money set aside for their condo complex. So these are all things that the HOA management company knows. They're the one that provides the HOA, the condo cert to your lender. However, about 70% of the time, they just won't answer you. They want you to go into escrow. They want you to pay for the condo cert, whether or not you get approved or not, because they want the money to bolster their condo reserves. So many times they just won't tell you. Sometimes they will. It's worth the call. But if they don't stop there. Take a moment. If it's on this approved list and it's not expired, if the HOA management company won't answer the questions over the telephone, just drive on down to the complex, find somebody walking through the complex and ask them, hey, can you tell me who's one of the HOA board members here? Go up, knock on that person's door, and ask them the questions. They have a vested interest in that condo association. They own one there. They want that those condos in that association to be sold, not to be on the market. They want to keep FHA loans coming. They know the answers to the questions that you would be asking. You would think they don't know the answers, but they do. Ask them, will this go FHA? If I go into escrow, are the numbers for this complex good enough to allow for an FHA loan? If they say yes, they think that they are, then head on down, make the offer, and you're ready to go. If they say no, that they don't think they are, then you probably don't want to enter escrow without a little bit more investigation, or you may just want to walk away and go find another one. All right, let's keep talking about how you can find condos that are approved. Here we found one that was approved, Lake Jennings Estates, and you could go find Lake Jennings Estates and just look for condos in that. That's simple enough because there's just not that many on this list for Lakeside. Lakeside's a very small community. First, we're going to look at how people normally look for condos, though. So we're going to go to the sd4u.com, and from there we click on that big white button that takes us to the Own San Diego Real Estate. We're going to put our mouse onto the home search, and this time I want you to actually click the home search button. And let's actually look and see if there's a condo in that Lake Jennings Estates. We're going to go in, we're going to put in 92040, and then click the little 92040 right here. And you'll notice it just locks it in right there. By the way, this home search program on Own San Diego Real Estate is the most technically advanced home search out there. It is amazing. This is the only home search program that you should be using if you are buying a house within San Diego County. There's a lot of reasons for it. We go over those reasons in 2 videos that are under blogs. If you go to blogs and how-to videos, we've got 2 videos there about the home search. One is called Home Search Programs Tricking Buyers. This one explains how almost all of the other programs out there are showing you lots and lots of houses, way more than 44. You know, if you go to Trulia or one of the other programs, they're showing you like 100 houses out there, and you're excited because you're looking at all of these possibilities. And on our website, you're only seeing 44, and you think that maybe we didn't pay as much for the for the service or something. Just not true. We have the most expensive one that is out there. It is the best and highest rated home search program that is out there. The reason that ours is only showing 44 is because our website is not designed to bring in more buyers. Most websites are an advertising platform. They're designed to get the buyer to want to find a house. For example, we'll click on this house right here, and then there's a place for those buyers to go in and request information from the agent. That's what they're designed to do. And so what you'll find is that what happens is that they're showing all kinds of houses that are no longer for sale, hoping that one of those will strike your interest. And as it does, you'll click that button on it, you'll turn back around and ask for information because, well, it wasn't on Don's website. But the thing is you're just going to get a call from the agent who's going to tell you that house is already contingent, or it's already pending, or it's not even for sale yet. It's a pre-foreclosure. But you know what? They're going to go and they're going to say, there's these other 44 houses that are for sale currently, and we can help you buy one of those. Save yourself the hours and hours and hours of work of looking at tons of houses that aren't even for sale. Only use our program, because as you can see down here under property status, ours defaults to only active. We're not confusing you with a bunch of additional ones that are not for sale. However, ours does include short sales in the pre-foreclosures. We suggest that you go in, click on the foreclosures, and exclude those pre-foreclosures and short sales. You don't want them right now, especially the pre-foreclosures. You never want them. They're not even listed right now. And the short sales are in a terrible place right now. Through the end of the year, the Mortgage Debt Forgiveness Act of 2007 expires on December 31st. And when that happens, if it's not extended, if it does expire, all of those people who are in escrows right now on short sales, those transactions are going to fail as the sellers cancel those transactions in an effort to escape $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 worth of taxes that they're going to owe if they go forward. So for now, just exclude the pre-foreclosures and short sales, and know that if you have any questions on it, that you can call us at any time and we'll go over that with you. Okay, so we've excluded our short sales. We already showed you that on our property status, we never included the backup or contingent. These are only properties that are active and currently eligible for you to make an offer on. They're accepting offers. On the property types, let's just get rid of the detached. We're looking at condos in this particular tutorial. So now we're looking at just the condos that are here. Let's click on Lakeshore Drive and see what we've got. What you want to look at, the first thing that you want to look at is this space right here where it says Complex Park. Just this Complex Park right here. This is the name, Lakefront Shores. That's the name that matches this condo name over here. Well, we've got Lakeshore Estates, but ours was Lakefront Shores or something like that. So these aren't the same. Lake Jennings Park Estates, that's not the same. It's not on here. This condo is probably not on this list. They've never even applied, most likely, to be FHA approved. If they're not FHA approved, they're probably currently not going to be able to get a conforming loan either. Now, there is this funky looking one up here that we talked about earlier called the County of San Diego Tract 3954. What happens is sometimes a condo complex applies for their condo certification from FHA prior to them ever even getting their name approved. So let's say that the name was Alpha Shores. And before Alpha Shores had the name Alpha Shores, they applied for FHA funding. Well, FHA didn't have the name, so they just used the tract number. So the question is this Alpha Shore? What's the name of this? What's the real name of this condo complex? Maybe it is. Maybe this tract number 3954 is Lakefront Shores. Most real estate agents don't have any idea that this exists. Most lenders don't know about this. So how is it that you find the information out? I got a real cool way for you to do it. Let's open up a new tab here for just a moment, and let's go ahead and go to our sd4u.com. Hopefully you're following along here. From sd4u.com, own San Diego Real Estate, back over to Home Search, back over to FHA approved condo complexes, but this time let's look up the tract number. We're going to go ahead and grab the address. When you grab the address, I don't want you to put in the city and state and zip code. Pardon me, just the address. Pop it right here into this Google search box. Make sure that you pop it into the Google search that's part of this APAL site. If when you click search, you don't get any results, take off the Unit 14 here and go back just a little bit. We're going to click search. And we get 3 different results. Let's just click on the first one. And we see a range of possible addresses. Not that many of them. So our address was 12616 Lakeshore Drive, number 14. 12616 Lakeshore Drive, 17, 14. This is it. Now, when we look at this, there's 2 things that I want to point out, and they're both really, really important. The first thing is a really great trick. If this APN number ends in 00, then even though it's an attached unit, like a condo, legally it's classified as a PUD or fee simple. And we're going to talk more about this later. What that means is you don't need a condo cert. You don't need anything because it's not legally considered a condo, even though it's attached. I know it sounds weird, but there's a bunch of them out there. So take a chance and look. We'll talk more about this later. But right now, what I want you to do is to click this view button. We're going to scroll all the way to the bottom, and we're going to find this subname, County of San Diego Tract 3899. Now let's go on back over to our condominium list. We had County 3954. 3954, 3899. They're not the same. If they were the same, then you would have known that this complex right here was the condominium that we're now calling Lakefront Shores. But it's not, so it's not eligible. It's this particular, the Lakefront Shores, has never even made an application. And even if it was, of course, on this particular one, they were expired. But we'll take a look at this more in a little bit. All right, now let's go on back and let's talk. First of all, let's go on back and let's talk a little bit about. Actually, let's take a look at a couple other ones. Let's just take. Let me make sure that you guys have it on down. Let's look at the next one. This Maple View. We'll go ahead and click on it. Maple View is in the complex Maple View Terrace. So we're going to go on over. And let's see here. We're here. Maple View Townhouses. HOA. 12553. I don't think that's the same. Let's take a look. No, no. Mapleview, where is it down here? Complex. Mapleview Terrace is different than the one that we saw here, the Mapleview townhouses. The name has to be pretty much identical. If not, you can check the things like the address or things like that. All right, even if it was, Mapleview Terrace was expired anyway, right? But so we see that both of the complexes in Lakeside right now are that currently have listings are expired. And as we talked earlier, really, there's only 2 complexes in the county, in the city of Lakeside, that have complexes that are actually approved. All right, let's go on back here for a moment to our search screen, and let's look at a city that's a little bit bigger. We'll just go one city over to Santee. We're gonna just go ahead and refresh our home search screen by clicking home search up here. Uh, 92071 is the city of Santee. Let's go ahead and click that number. It seats it in right here. Let's get rid of our residential detached. Now we only have condos. We see that we have a total of 9 condos in there. Let's get rid of those short sales and pre-foreclosures. Believe it or not, we're all the way down to 4. Okay. And we're going to look at, I guess, this one first right here, Cottonwood Avenue. Let's click on it. And we see that we're looking for a complex name of Labraces. We're going to grab this just in case we need it. Labraces. Okay, and by the way, notice on all of these that we look at, they're active listings. No contingent, no pending, no pre-short sale, pre-foreclosure. These are all houses that are currently accepting offers. All right, over to our condominium list, let's go back and let's put in 92071. Right? Make sure that we're looking at the city of Santee and we're looking for Labraces. See, we have all kinds of County of San Diego tract numbers here, right? So we're going to Labraces right here. Labraces at Cottonwood. Is this the same one? I don't know. Let's take a look. Cottonwood 8834. 8834. These are the same ones. We see that it's approved, and we see that it's approved through 2014. This one, in fact, just got approved 2 months ago, 3 months ago. 2 months ago. It was at the end of July, right? 2-3 months ago, this one got approved, and it's very, very recent. You could almost be certain that things haven't changed so much that in 3 months that it no longer qualifies. So my guess is that we're going to be okay on this. This is one that we would still want to do our due diligence. The buyer would want to call out and ask, go down there and talk to them. But this is a good one. This one's probably going to be approved by your lender when they get the condo cert. All right, so we've got that as an example. Let's head on back over and look at maybe 1 or 2 more. Back over onto our map. This one over here, we've got 2 in the same complex. So we only have to check the complex once. If the complex is approved for one, it's approved for the other one as well. So we'll just choose this 331 right here. We're going to go on down, and we see that this one is in a complex called complex Altair. Scoot on back over. We're going to take a look for Altair, way up in the A's. Altair HOA, 203 Cooper Ridge. 104 Iron Wheel. Again, this was called Altair. My guess is that these are the same place, and that the address that they have here is the difference for the address is simply that they've got a different management address. Having said that, we would want to check that out. If it turns out that it's all good, then we can turn back around and we can we see it's got a status of it approved and it's not expired. So we've got a good chance. We'd still want to do our due diligence, but we've got a good chance on this particular condo. So as we looked, remember we had all of these County of San Diego things. Let's look at one more. We only had one more, I think. Actually, let's go back on that. Let's go back over here and let's look at that last one and see if we can find our map and click on this one. This one is in a complex called Carefree. I'm going to go over our condo list under C's, Carefree East. It's approved. Is it the same one? Possibly. It's close enough that we would at least want to ask. 9962, 9944. My thought is probably it's not now, but we would still call and ask. We would call and ask just to see, but the thought is that, and what we would call and ask, what they won't refuse to tell you is what the complex name is. You would say, is this Carefree and Carefree East the same thing? You know, is this the one that's approved on the FHA list? Then you would be able to get your question answered. All right, now, if it turned out that we didn't have, for example, the name was not on this list, then we would go in and we would put the address into our search engine over here. Our address was 9944. And was there a unit number on that? No, 9944. I don't know why that didn't come up. We'd have to search several of these then to find it. 9944. Let me try one more time. 9944. Search. 99. Looking through here. You just have to look through and find it. You also have the ability to come down and put the, you also have the ability to go down from the main search screen here. Let's see here. You can click on parcels and you could put in the address and search for the stuff here as well. So we're not going to do that on this particular video because it takes a little bit of time and it's just not important for what we're trying to do. If you're trying to find a particular one, then let us know and we'll help you with that. But it seems as if, oh, here we go, 9944, 9944, 9944. We said North Magnolia or something like that, right? Let's see if we see it on here real quick. North Magnolia Avenue. It's right here. Okay. So the first thing that we look at is the APN number. Does it end with a 00? These last two digits, not the APN 8. That is all except the last two digits. What we need to know are the last two digits 00. If it's 00, that is your little secret way of getting around the rules. In this case, it's not, so that's not going to help. We can come on down here. We can find out that the subname is Carefree East. There it is. Carefree East number 1. So we now know that in fact this Carefree East is the same one and it is approved, and this is a great thing. So we've had a lot of interesting stuff that we've talked about. We're going to talk about a couple more ways that you can get around, but hopefully you're already beginning to feel much more empowered. And as you get more and more information, you're going to find that you're going to be more and more successful. The things that you've been trying so hard to accomplish and that have been thwarted by, that they've just always been elusive and a little bit out of your grasp, they are there. They are available to you. You just need to understand how to win. All right, let's keep looking at different ways we could win. So we place our mouse over home search. We've talked about the FHA approved condo complex. We talked about finding the complex name right here on our website, on our home search. We've talked about looking at the APN numbers and seeing if they have a 00 on them, if in case they're not an approved condo complex. And we've looked at finding the tract numbers to understand, is this, if it didn't have a name, is this still one of the ones that you can do? Now let's take a look at a couple other things. HUD foreclosures. We talked about this earlier. HUD is FHA. When FHA made a loan on a condo, could be a house as well, they're all on here. When FHA made a loan, they turned back around, and in this case, they foreclosed upon that, and now they own it. And because they own it, they're willing to waive their own guidelines to try to sell that. So we're going to put in California, San Diego. We're going to click search. Before we go further, it's important that you understand that this is different than any other type of real estate that you have ever, or your real estate agent has ever done before. The first thing that you need to know is that your agent has to have an NAID number. They say it takes about a month to 6 weeks to get. It takes like 9 months to get this darn number. Once an agent has the number, then they're allowed to show the properties and they're allowed to make an offer on them. So we're going to go in and we're going to click search. And now we're in the HUD home store, and we're going to look for just any condo just for fun. So I'm looking right here. I've got a condo for $110,000. I'm going to click on the property case number, and here is the condo. You do not need to go in and find out if this condo is on the HUD approved list, the FHA approved condo complex list. It doesn't matter. Most lenders abide by FHA's rules, but not all of them. If you have a lender who says, no, it still has to be on the FHA approved list, just go find a different lender. It doesn't have to be on the FHA approved list. FHA has already done this, already foreclosed upon this. They have the loan on it, and they've already said that they are willing to do FHA financing on it, period. The appraisal is already done. It came in at $110,000. The list price is currently at $110,000. You cannot go higher than the list price unless you have cash to make up the difference, because the appraisal is already in. So there's 3 different statuses that can go here: IE, IN, and I think it's UN. IE is insured escrow. It means that FHA has done an appraisal and they said they will do a loan on it. However, there is, in this case, $660 worth of repairs that need to be made. The repairs are already known. Give me a call. I'll show you how to look at those repairs and understand what's going on. In addition to that, you have IN. IN, if this said IN, it would mean that they said that it's insurable. A lender can do this. They'll insure it. And there would be 0 repairs required. The appraiser didn't find anything wrong with the condo. And then there's UN, I believe it's UN, which would be uninsurable. What that means is that this number was above $5,000. Because it was above $5,000, then they said, no, this is just too much work for a first-time home buyer. Nobody needs to get this using an FHA loan. We're not going to insure it. And in that case, your lender would not be able to do the loan. So notice up here that there's bid submission time remaining, 8 days and 12 hours. A lot of times, after the first 10 days, this is always never more than 24 hours. For the first 10 days, you can make an offer, but it just doesn't get reviewed for the first 10 days. The escrow is much different than a regular escrow. Notice here it says find a broker. It's not a matter of finding a broker, it's finding a registered broker. You must have the real estate agent that you're using must have an NAID number in order to make an offer on a HUD property. All right, we're not going to talk any more about this. If you have questions on this and how to go about looking at them, just give me a call and we'll go over it. We're going to go on back and we're going to point out also Fannie Mae home path foreclosures. Now, Fannie Mae home path, Fannie Mae has foreclosures. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are the biggest buyers of all loans that are out there. There are a lot of Fannie Mae foreclosures. Fannie Mae has its own loan called Home Path, and many people who qualify for an FHA loan also qualify for a Home Path loan. In a Home Path loan, they are willing to overlook those rules. A Home Path loan is very similar to a conforming loan. Very, very similar to a loan where you had to put down 20%, but you only have to put down 3%. And of that 3%, you can use down payment assistance programs for that. But the point is, and there's no PMI insurance, by the way, just like if you put 20% down. It's a fantastic loan in that matter. But the point is, all conforming loans normally still require that 51% occupancy, and that no more than 15% of those homeowners are behind on their HOA dues, and that they've got the reserves and all these different things. But on Home Path, they will waive all of that stuff. So you could go in and you could look, for example, in 92071 back to Santee, and you could see, are there any in Santee? And the answer is yes. Here we see these are under contract, right? You can see that under contract. They're not for sale. It's kind of like before I told you that they show all kinds of things, but unless you look closely, you're looking at houses that aren't really for sale. But these are active. This one's just listed. This one's back on the market. It fell out of escrow, and these two are active. This one's first look. It means that it's within the first 15 days and only owner occupied. No investors can make offers on it. Again, it's a little bit different type of transaction. Everything's done online. But having said that, if you find a condo in here, and in this case, these were all single family. Let's go over and take a look at that. Let's go back and change this to 92040. See if maybe in Lakeside. No. So, but they do have condos on here. And if you can find a condo, 92111, if you can find a condo on here, you don't need to worry about the, here's a condo right here in 92111, 328,000. And it is a first look, so only owner occupied. You would be able to get by and not have to worry about the requirements for conforming or FHA loans that would require that the condo be certified. All right, back over to our main page again. So we've looked at, one more time, we've used the home search program to search for houses. This is the only home search program that you should be using for a lot of reasons. We'll go back over that in just a minute. We've looked at the HUD-approved condo complexes. This is a great guide right off the bat to make sure that you have the best chance of being successful and the best chance of not losing any money. We've also looked up APN numbers, and we know that if an APN number ends with a 00, and it's 10 digits, not 8, and it ends with a 00, you can bypass the rules of the FHA rules. We also looked up tract numbers and saw how to check some of those cryptic tracts and see whether or not the tract is correctly aligned with the complex that you're looking at. We also looked at HUD foreclosures, and we saw that on HUD foreclosures, it doesn't matter whether it's in an approved complex or not. You can do an FHA loan on it, and they will ignore their own rules in order to resell that foreclosure. FHA also, by the way, on their HUDhomestore.com, this link, the FHA also has a 15 or a 30-day period where during those first 15 or 30 days, owner occupied can make offers without having to compete against investors. You need the NAID number for a real estate agent to be able to submit on that. It's a fantastic way of getting into a house. You just need to make sure that you've got a real estate agent that has that. We do have that NAID number, by the way. We do them all the time. Fannie Mae Home Path, we talked about those as well, and how you don't need to have an approved complex for them. We added Altisource Homes. It's now called Hubzu. This is a horrible, horrible seller. They really are a terrible transaction you're going to go into. You won't get any type of relief from the HUD rules. You'll still have to comply with the condo cert, but the cool thing about Altisource is that they only list their homes in Riverside, not in San Diego County. So if you find a condo listed on Altisource here in San Diego, then most of the people who are looking at the houses in San Diego don't know that it's listed. Fewer people who know mean fewer people bidding, mean the better chance for you to get a good deal, right? So if you have questions on Altisource, or now that's called Hubzu, give me a call. I'll explain how that works. Last couple of things that I want to point out: blogs. Click on how-to videos. The video that I'm making right now will end up in here as well. This video, how to use our advanced home search for relevant search results, shows you how to use the home search program that we did. Don't just assume that you know how to use them because you can go in and click a couple of buttons. You will be able to use it. It's very easy. It's super powerful, but there are better ways of searching than you are doing right now. Take the time, watch the video, and I promise you, you will be happy that you did. You can be better and more successful. You can set your search to get more relevant results so that you're doing less work and finding houses faster. Also, the program here, the video here, video tutorial called Home Search Programs Tricking Buyers. This explains how you're being tricked on the other sites. And there really is no reason for you to use any of the other sites if you're going to be looking for a house in San Diego County. Then we've got how to use the True Mortgage Calculator. I'll show you a quick example of that in a minute. The True Mortgage Calculator is truly going to be your best friend of making sure that you don't end up in escrow and then find out that the payment is more than what you expected. This is an amazing tool that most people have never heard of. We'll show you how to use that as well. The one that we're going to show you now is very short, like just a 2-minute example of how you use it specifically for condos. You should watch this video tutorial by clicking here and understand what your payment is before you make offers. Now let's go on back here for just a moment to our home search, and let's look at another condo over there. What do you say we go back to Santee? 92071. 92071. Click on the 92071. Let's get rid of this. Oh, let's choose this guy right here. Let's say that your lender, and by the way, let's go over here and let's open up another tab. Let's say that your lender said that you qualified for a FHA loan for $350,000. Your payment was going to be, let's say, $1,645 a month. Sounds about right. Let's take a look at it. We're going to click on calculator here, and we got it on FHA about 3.375, and you've got a payment of $1,645 per month. No HOAs. It's on. Just he said you qualify for that amount. $247. We're awful close, right? So so you qualify for roughly $250,000 house, and he said, or you qualify for a. Let's see here. Try this. $200,000 condo. And this is what your lenders tell you all the time. You qualify for a $250,000 house or a $200,000 condo, but it is not true. What you qualified for and didn't know it was a payment of $1,645 in this example. You need to understand what the payment is because you might be shortchanging yourself. For example, when your lender said that you qualified for $1,645 and when your lender said you qualified for $250,000 first single-family residence, when he went and you said, well, how much do I qualify for a condo? When he said $250, it was based upon some random number that he put in here. Who knows what number he put in here for his example? He might have put $250, $350, $300. He could have put anything in there. And that makes a difference for you. For example, we said with the $325 that you qualified for a maximum payment, a maximum purchase price of $200,000, $198,861. But if we go back over here and we look at details, yeah, that's a condo. We go back over here and we look at this, and actually let's get one a little bit more expensive. Map 230, 320, 329, 340. We'll go with this 231 right here. Maybe I misread it. No, 230 right there. Do you qualify for this 231? Maybe you do. He told you only qualified for 200, but it depends on how much the HOAs are. And so we look down in here and we find the HOAs. CDR and Melrose are 0. You need to look for those as well. I'm going to show you something else in just a minute. I'm looking for the HOAs. Wait, I just saw them up here. Homeowners fees $340. So you're not going to qualify for this one because we already had $325 and it was only $300, right? Let's do a different search. Let's click right here and let's do one in the zip code 91918. I don't know where that's at, but there isn't one. 91911 is Chula Vista, I think, right? Get rid of our residential. All we have is condos. Here's one at 229 again. Let's just take a look at it. 229. And I'm looking for the HOA fees. I'm just not seeing them here. CDM, Melrose. Active run. Let's see here. Huh. I wonder if this. Maybe I missed it. We'll just try a different one. Too small. 245. Too big. Well, let's look at this one. He said 200,000. This one is 189,000. So do you really qualify for this $189,000 condo? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. HOA fees, $400 per month. We go down to the bottom and we look for other fees as well. There aren't any. So do you qualify? He told you $200,000 is what you qualified for on a condo. Do you really qualify for it? Let's go back over and let's take a look. Let's change this to 400. You qualify for 187. This particular condo, we said was, where was it? Too many. Must have been this one, yeah. This particular one was 189. Yeah, barely, right? You're within $2,000. You barely qualified for it. As the HOAs went up, the amount you qualified for went down. Okay, so hopefully you've gotten a lot of information out of this about how to determine whether or not you should enter escrow in the first place. It's a huge decision. Before you enter escrow, you need to know the likelihood that you're going to be able to get an approval on your loan, and a big part of that approval is going to be whether or not the complex will pass muster. In addition to that, you need to know, is your payment going to be within the amount that the lender is going to allow? Ask the lender, instead of for the amount that you qualify for in a dollar amount of a house, a purchase price, ask them for the amount that you qualify for as a monthly payment, and use the calculator and enter the HOA fees and make sure that you're in there, in that range. Additionally, this is going to make sure that before you make an offer or before you accept a counteroffer, that you understand what it is that the payment is going to be, and that's going to help you make a good decision on whether or not you even feel comfortable with that payment and comfortable with that payment for that specific condo or house. All right, back up at the top, I just want to point out again that we've got all kinds of information over here on first-time home buyer programs. They're all like County of San Diego. Start right here. Get all kinds of information on that. Our intake forms are right here. If you want to fill out information and have us start taking a look at different programs for you, clicking the home button will give you our phone number right up on the front here. And of course, about us and contact us can let you get hold of us that way as well. We've already talked about the home search and how to do all of that stuff. I cannot urge you enough that you should click on the Facebook and make sure to like our Facebook page and begin getting the information like you've received today that will help you to be smarter, to make better decisions, to be more successful, and have the possibility of getting a better deal. And then finally, we've got testimonials here and on Facebook. If you have any questions, if you have questions about who we are and how good of an agent we are and the different things, just put the question out on our Facebook page and let some of our clients answer those questions back. You can also read what other people have said about what we do for them and whether or not we are worth talking with. Again, my name is Don Gardnier, and I am President and CEO of Gardnier Inc. This presentation has been brought to you by Own San Diego Real Estate and by San Diego First Time Home Buyer Programs. We hope that we have provided you with some great information to help you be more successful, and hopefully we've impressed you somewhat as well to where you'll want to give us a call and ask us how we can help you. Thank you so much.